Awesome. All right. I think we can get started.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Clara. I am super excited. Hello, everyone. I'm John Wetzel. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Gather. I'm really excited for this webinar, mainly because it's hosted by our very own head of people and community, Clara Horton. She has been wonderful, and she's the creator of a lot of the resources that you may see that come from us, whether that's the checklists, a monthly People Ops planner that goes out in our weekly People newsletter, a lot of the workflow templates that exist in our app for building out your People Ops processes. So she's a wealth of knowledge and couldn't be more excited to share some of that with you today. The topic today is celebrating impactful moments at work. It's been one of the kind of topics that's been foundational to the reasons why we started Gather in the first place, in knowing that all of these important moments exist in the workplace. The people operations teams are the folks that are responsible for celebrating, recognizing, and investing in them. And so excited to dive in and share a lot of the learnings with you today. But Clara will be the one that's doing everything. So I will hand it over to you, Clara.
Thank you so much, John, for the warm introduction. And again, welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to have you all here. Today, we'll talk about the impactful moments you can celebrate with your teams at work. So I'm really excited to have you. Before we get started, I see most of you started using our chat, so please feel free to post any questions there that you might have during our session. I'll make sure to take some time to answer them. At the end of this event, I'll share some of the links I've put in my presentation, and we'll send an email after to everyone with the recording as well as with the deck and with a few templates that we prepared for you. As John mentioned, we love templates here at Gather, so of course we prepared some for you today as well. All right, let's get started. So today's moment and the overall topic of celebrating impactful moments is something that's very close to my heart. At Gather, we truly believe that celebrating can be an amazing bonding experience for the company and for the teams involved. And everyone's view on celebration is a little different, and I think that's wonderful. So we'll talk about the different angles you can take on starting to celebrate more with your teams. And during this webinar, I'll show you a few things. So we'll talk about why it's important to start celebrating more as a team. We'll talk about the different moments you can celebrate. I'll share a lot of helpful tools and resources that you can start using from today. And of course, at the end, I'll walk you through the Gather framework we developed that you can take and edit and start using. All right. I think we can all agree that employee journey is full of moments, whether it's an anniversary, a new colleague, a promotion, a big deal happening at work, a new feature launched. There are so many moments that happen every single day. And us as people managers, we sort of became the guardians of those moments, right? Making sure that they're recognized, that they're communicated. Since we spend one third of our lives at work, we want to make sure that those moments are enjoyable for everyone. So let's talk about why celebrating is so important. As I mentioned, celebrating is an amazing bonding activity. Supporting team bonding is important, especially if your team is not in touch every day, if your team is distributed or remote. This is something that I believe everyone wants to spend a bit more time on. Celebrating can also help promote positivity, and I'll share why that's important in just a few seconds. And of course, it can help you create a culture of recognition of the important moments that happen on the employee's journey, whether that could be their work anniversary, a new role, or if they're hiring their first teammate. There's just so much that happens every single day. Thanks to OC Tanner, we found out that almost 8 out of 10 employees say that the lack of appreciation is the key reason why they left a company. Now, when I saw this number, I was stunned, right? And employee experience is a puzzle, and I believe that one of the key puzzles of that experience is recognition, and we see how important recognition and appreciation can be at work. So celebrating employees' hard work is absolutely important when we talk about happiness at work. Thanks to Gallup, we also know that 99 out of 100 employees or people say that they wish they had more positive environment at work. And, celebrating, the number is huge. So celebrating is something that, and recognizing moments can be truly helpful here. When we talk about different events and moments that happen in employees' life, birthday is definitely something that most of us recognize or celebrate or acknowledge at work. What you maybe did not know that CEB found out that around the time of employee's birthday, there is a 12% increase in job search. Now imagine what happens if your employer forgets that it's your birthday and you love celebrating your birthday, right? That can really be an impactful moment and not in the most positive way. So keeping up with what's important to your teams and how you can celebrate their special days, whether that's by sending them a cake at home or giving them a day off. We'll talk about that a little later, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And disengaged employees can not only, can have the disengagement of the employer-employee relationship can not only have effect on the employee satisfaction, but on the company revenue. In one Gallup interview, Tom Rath mentioned that the impact of disengaged employees on sort of scaring off customers is massive, somewhere between 250 and 300 billion a year. So we can take these numbers and think about, if we invest a little bit more time into celebration, what impact can that have on our business? All right. Now that we talked a bit more about why it's important to celebrate, let's talk about the moments that we're going to celebrate. We divided these moments into 3 categories. And I'll share the most common types of moments that you can celebrate in each of these categories. And of course, examples of how other companies celebrate them and a few insider tips from our team. The 3 main moments that we think you can recognize are the company moments, career moments, and life moments. I believe that these categories nicely sum up all the different moments that happen along the employee journey. Now, when we talk about when to celebrate these moments, there is always something that happens, right? And it starts with a moment. So it can be a new investor coming in, a global holiday, or even a company anniversary. There is always something that happens that leads to an action, and that action can be your celebration. There are many things that you can definitely recognize. So, such as truly exceptional work, delivering results, an important life event, or even just a meaningful date. You can celebrate on different levels inside your company. You can celebrate as the whole team. You can celebrate as individual teams. For example, when customer success team gets an amazing praise from their customer, or employees can celebrate separately, just by being recognized by their manager or their peers, one-on-one. We've mentioned, and I've mentioned a lot that, if we look more closely at the individual moments that happen in employee journey, these are sort of the most common ones that we noticed that happen at Gather. And on average, company celebrates 2 moments in the first year of the employee journey, one of which is their onboarding, which can be celebrated, just by a message posting in Slack or a welcome email, and the employee's birthday. I believe you know this as well as I do, that there are so much more moments that happen along the way. So if we think about how to expand the employee journey and mark those different moments, whether we talk about company, career, or life moments, there's so much more that happens. And to keep track of this, it can be pretty complicated, right? just figuring out what all the important dates are, what's happening, who's responsible for them. There is just so much to keep track of. So I'll show you how you can do that in our Gather framework that I'll share a little later in this presentation. And of course, each employee journey is different. So then when we look at individual employees, the employee journey can be very different for each and every one of them. And it's only to them and to you how you decide to work with that journey to make sure that the employee is happy, recognize, and celebrates the moments that they love the most. All right, let's talk about company moments. Company moments are a great opportunity to celebrate and come, all hands on deck as one team and recognize the successes that happened. As I mentioned, especially with remote teams, this opportunity can be much more rare than we realize. So to make sure that you make the most of it, whether you have your regular all hands meetings or a team offsite, recognize those important moments that happen inside your company, whether that is your company reaching a 10-year anniversary, if there was an acquisition or an important people or business milestone, such as reaching, having 100 employees on the team or signing a big client. Of course, there are international days, heritage months, and holidays. So there's just so much you can celebrate with your teams. And it's truly about your company culture and values and beliefs, where you can take these moments and put them together and decide which moments are important to you and which you would like to handpick and start celebrating regularly with your teams. Now, a few examples that I mentioned before that we'll share. This is the first one. With teammates in nearly 20 countries, the Buffer team celebrates their international holidays by learning about them. So the team at Buffer did this amazing thing where every employee gets time off when it's the holiday in their local country. Now, these employees, before they take their time off, share into a public Slack channel a bit more insight about the holidays and why they decided to celebrate them. What I love about this is that the employees actually take the celebration initiative and help the other teammates understand a bit more about their culture and beliefs. So I think this is a wonderful way of celebrating international holidays. A fun tool you can use when on all hands or when talking about an important moment is called Kahoot. Kahoot is a fun sort of a game-based learning platform where you can put in questions. So for example, if we take the Buffer example, if an employee would send a few notes about why they decided to celebrate Holly. Then at all hands, you can do a poll quickly or competition in Kahoot, and employees can answer a few questions about that holiday. It's really a fun tool. We've used it a few times, and we've had a great experience. So I absolutely recommend this one. Another lovely example I wanted to share with you is the way the team at Webflow celebrates the Christmas holidays. So what Webflow does on the holidays is that they celebrate it by giving back. Every employee at Webflow gets a $100 budget they can donate to a charity of their choice, which I think, again, is something that strongly resonates with the Webflow culture and a lovely way to celebrate and recognize and give back as well. A platform I would like to recommend that we have experience with is Global Giving, which is an easy platform you can use that has a whole employee and employer interface. So it's a lot easier than just, reinventing the wheel. So if you ever are thinking about celebrating by giving back, this is a great tool to use. All right, on to a few tips from Gather. One company moment that is worth recognizing can be company birthday. You can actually celebrate the anniversary of your company by creating a birthday board with personally written wishes from every employee. I think that not only the founders, and the founding team will appreciate this, but it will be amazing to see everyone's point of view and wishes for the company and for its mission. And another tip that we have for you is the holiday food budget. So we all know that food brings us together. And whether you're on site or remote, celebrating the holidays with a food budget where you can order in to your home or to your office a fun meal that resonates with the holiday you're celebrating, that's a really an amazing experience. So that's another tip coming from our team. All right, let's move on to career moments. Career moments are, I would say, one of the most recognized moments. We know that employees have an onboarding period, right? So there's the moment they enter the company. They have every employee has growth on their employee track. So, being promoted, getting a new role, building a team, taking on a leadership role. There are all these different actions that happen along the way. But to really make sure you know all of them, it's great to have an overview. We wrote down or over 7 examples of these career moments, and we'll share our tips along the way. And some of them are whether it's work anniversary, which is a lot for, I would say, a bit less, kind of an underrated moment compared to birthday, where an employee work anniversary is lovely because it's directly linked to the company that you're celebrating it at. So I would absolutely make sure that to think about recognizing work anniversary in your teams. We can have a lot of other amazing moments such as career milestones, personal achievements at work, or even retirement. Those are all wonderful career moments that are worth recognizing. At Burberry, the team wanted to recognize their employees a bit more. So what they did, they created Blueberry Icon Awards. You may have heard their ex-CEO talking on a podcast about talking about how important it is to celebrate with your team. The speaker, Angela, mentions that, these moments are really the true moments of bonding. And they created different categories, inspired by the brand, the business, and culture. So this was, again, a different approach on how to celebrate different career moments for employees by giving them an internal Burberry Icon Award. At News, which is a hospitality startup, every newcomer gets to throw a party, which I think is really fun because in hospitality, you often have a limited budget. And that's exactly what happens for the new hires here, where the group of new hires gets a limited budget during their first week, and their number one task is to throw a party for the whole company to get to know each other. So again, talking about reflecting your culture into the moments that you're celebrating is, I think, a very, Muse is a really great example of doing that. A fun tool to use when recognizing career moments could be Gather. Not sure if you're all familiar with Gather. We help companies automate moments and people ops processes, and making sure that you have these important dates marked is something that Gather can help you with. So whether that is onboarding, a work anniversary, or even a team gathering, Gather can really help you with that. All right, let's talk about a few tips on career moments. First idea that we have in our People Ops playbook is the personal development stipend. So, you can celebrate an important career moment by giving your employees a budget to use on their professional development or personal development. A next great idea for career moments is the welcome channel. So this would be directly linked to onboarding, and having a channel to help coordinate everything can be always fun. And think about your first day in a company. If you had a welcome channel that would welcome every employee and give all the other teammates an opportunity to say hi and welcome them to the team, we think that that's a lovely idea. So that's another tip for you here. Amazing. Let's talk about the life moments you can celebrate. Life moments are, I would say, the life moments can be very different, from employee journey to employee journey. And the conversation about being able to bring your whole self to a company has been, popular and more intense over the last few years. So celebrating life moments and supporting life moments as an employer has really become a hot topic in our grounds. And there are a lot of ways you can actually do that. Whether that is, employee's birthday, a new partnership, a marriage or civil partnership, or even adopting a pet, or winning an award outside of the company, or even, celebration of important religion and culture days. There's so much that happens in an employee's life, and it's amazing, if the employer can recognize that and support the employee throughout those events. A few examples we have for you from other companies. For example, at tenant-based, as a growing company, the chances for the top leadership to reflect on the individual contributions are usually limited, but tenant-based actually opens that in-depth personal appreciation by having the CEO, the COO, or the CDO write a thoughtful card and thank the employee on their birthday for their hard work. This is a great, very no budget idea that any company can implement, and I believe the impact can be marvelous. A fun tool to use for sending birthday cards or recognizing work anniversaries or any other occasions is Kudo board. Kudo board helps you create this board of wishes and ideas that your team can prepare and then deliver to the individual who is celebrating. Next example I have is Pies Insurance. And Pies Insurance, as a part of their parental policy, they actually have a special budget for grocery or meal delivery for the new moms and dads in the company. This helps the new parents, take their mind off getting dinner on the table, and they can spend more time with their little one. So the company is truly, investing in their employees and supporting them on their important life during their important life events. A fun tool to use when celebrating different life events or even career events is Goody. Goody is a self-management gift platform that we love over here at Gather. And Goody actually helps you to choose a budget and send a catalog of items that the receiver can choose from. So this really helps you to automate all the things like choosing the right sizes of clothing or the right beverage or meal that you would like to choose. There's no payment upfront. The receiver of the gift gets a text message and an email, and they ship everything for you. So we love this tool. It's really, really fun tool to use, and a great way to take the hassle of delivering gifts and appreciation cards to a global team, especially if you're a distributed one. All right, a few tips from Gather. Before we move on to our framework when celebrating life moments, try doing a team coordinated celebration. So you actually put in the responsibility of celebrating a birthday to your team's hands, and you can do that by spinning up a quick Slack channel where everyone on the team except for the birthday person would join. And if you maybe if you have a budget, you can add some extra fun stuff there. But the team can work with that nicely, and it takes some work off the hands of the people operations teams. Some companies call these the culture squads or the culture heroes. So the employees who love to be engaged and help celebrate fun and important moments at work. Another idea on celebrating an important life event is a virtual baby shower. So you can connect your teammates and send off your upcoming parents before they leave the company and give them a fun time with the rest of the team and share their wishes, share some gifts maybe, and talk about what the next months are going to look like. All right. Let's talk about the framework that we have developed for celebrating moments at work. The framework we built at Gather is this what may look like a large table, but it's very, very easy to use. And it there follows a list of moments that we collected from our Gather community. You can then easily use this template. We've developed 2 templates. I'll share them in the chat right here in a few seconds. And what you can do with this framework is to choose your moment category, whether that is a company, a career, or a life moment. Think about the different moment type. We included all of the moment types that I've mentioned in the presentation in this template, but of course you can add your own, then specify the moment, and then think about who is responsible for the celebration coordination. Who will you communicate, how will you communicate this moment, and how are you going to celebrate it? And then you can write down the individual action you are going to take as a team. We took the liberty of putting in a few examples for you, but the templates I will share with you are fully customizable, so you can take them and use them however you like. We created 2 versions. If there are any other versions that you would appreciate, please let us know. I'm sending them in the chat right now. All right, amazing. Great. If anyone has any questions, this would be a great time to send them in the chat. I will give everyone a few minutes to do so. And of course, I wanted to thank you for joining us. I'm sharing my email address on the screen as well. To make sure if you ever want to get in touch, share an inspiration on how you celebrate in your company, or even ask about how Gather could help you automate some of those moments, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me over email or on my LinkedIn. Always active on both. Awesome. I see we don't have